Hello, my name is Bruce Youngblood, Certified Financial Planner at PensionSolutionsCanada.com. Thank you for joining me for today's seminar. Today we're going to talk about the options that you have when leaving your employment with a defined benefit pension plan. Either you're terminated or you're retiring, moving on. So you have a defined benefit pension plan, and what are your options? Normally when leaving your company, you have three options. Number one, of course, you can take the company pension. Number two is what we call a copycat annuity, where the capital to fund your pension is moved to a Canadian financial institution. And number three is the commuted value cash, where again the capital, the money, that's $750,000 or $1 million plus, whatever the number, is moved again to a Canadian financial institution, but with the help of a financial advisor, you self-direct the account. So there's the three options that you normally have, and we're going to look at those in detail today. So option number one is the company pension. And in favor of the company pension, of course, this is something that's easy to set up. Your company sends you the paperwork, you sign it, you send it back, you start getting your pension check. You die, your spouse gets the continuance. This is the option that's traditionally been chosen by, I can't say your forefathers, but for decades. You retire, you're terminated, whatever happens to you, you take the company pension. So what's the downside to doing that? Well, the downside is, where is your company going over the rest of your lifetime? Because we're not talking about where your company's going to be in a year or 5 years, but when you turn 82 or you've died and your spouse is turning 82, is that company still going to be there? Is the workforce still going to be there to pay in to this pension so you can be paid out? For example, Sears Canada. Folks worked there for 30, 35 years. You've read about it in the paper, you've heard it in the press. Their company left Canada, their company went broke, and they took a haircut. They're down 30%. They have lost 30% of their monthly. So if you were going to get $3,000, suddenly you're getting barely over $2,000. And you're going to live a long time. Canadians are living longer, collecting their pensions longer. So that's the pro and con of taking a company pension. Option number two, the copycat annuity. What is a copycat annuity? Copycat annuity is meant to copy or mirror the annuity or the pension that you can take from your employer, except you take it from a Canadian financial institution. So you're getting the same money. Your spouse is going to get the same continuance consideration, your partner. That's what a copycat annuity is. It copies your pension. And Finance, Revenue Canada, require that it copy very closely or it's disallowed. So this is a mirror of your pension. So what about the pros and cons here? Well, clearly the pro is that you are collecting your pension for life, let's call it that, from a Canadian financial institution. And let me pick on Great-West Life for a moment. Great-West Life are part of a financial institution called the Power Corporation, who are every bit as large as many of the Canadian banks. So you are drawing from a very solid institution, secondly, a Canadian institution, and thirdly, an institution that is in the pension business. They don't build something, they finance pensions, they manage money. Beyond that, there is something called a SureRisk, which you can look up, and that guarantees the payments should something go wrong at a Canadian financial institution. There's also, on occasion, there's a bit of a surplus of money. We've recently processed a copycat annuity for a retiree, and he ended up with a nice check. So he gets the pension and he got an extra check. Now, what are the downsides to the copycat annuity? you're going to have your capital moved out of your corporation and over to a Canadian financial institution. There don't appear to be downsides to this solution. So that's a copycat annuity. It's going to pay you a pension the same as your pension now, and you're collecting it from a Canadian financial institution. When you get your final pension statement, get it to us right away, as this could be a viable option for many of you. So option number 3 is the commuted value cash or lump sum payout, lump sum buyout, has different names. But on your statement, either your final statement or you may have an interim statement, you will see commuted value and you'll see a grand total. And that is the amount of money that's used to fund your pension for life. And in the commuted value option, you move that money out of your employer to another Canadian financial institution and essentially self-direct it. It comes out, some of it's tax sheltered, much of it is not. So that's the commuted value option. It's a lump sum payout to you of your pension. So why would you consider the commuted value lump sum payout option? Well, right off the bat, this money is now in your hands. Should you die, it's part of your estate. It either goes to your spouse or your kids. You control this. You also control the investment within it. You also are no longer in the shadow of your employer whatsoever. This is a check coming out of that company pension. So those are the upsides to taking that. So what are the downsides to taking this commuted value? Because many people see this as a wonderful solution. They get all the capital. Well, the first downside to hit you in the face is the tax haircut. You may find that you're cutting a check to Ottawa for $100 or even I've seen $220,000. So all of a sudden your commuted value has been whittled down by 15, 20, 25%. So that tax haircut is a substantial negative to taking the commuted value. Okay, what are the other risks? Well, clearly, if you're managing your own money, you have an investment risk. GICs are barely paying 2%, so you take the commuted value and put it in a GIC forever, you're not going to be earning much. So you could run out of money. That's the investment risk. And that goes hand in hand with the longevity risk. As I mentioned earlier, on your 82nd birthday, you don't want to be taking your last payment. So you're going to live a long time. You want to make sure that your money is going to live. And what happens when you have a bank full of money that you've never had before? Maybe the kids need a new truck. Maybe you just decide to pay off your mortgage. You have to ask yourself, am I done or am I going to keep working? When do I have to start drawing on this money? So there's the taxation risk, the longevity risk, and the investment risk. Key downsides to taking the commuted value. Okay, in summary, then you have 3 options when you bring your defined benefit pension plan out of your employer. Number 1, keep the pension with the employer. Number 2 is the copycat annuity. And number 3 is the commuted value lump sum payout of your pension. So why would you deal with me? I'm a certified financial planner. I hasten to say, you never pay me. We're always paid. I'm always paid by the financial institution, whether it's a copycat annuity or commuted value. Beyond that, we manage RSPs, RIFs, and TFSAs, so we can manage that part for you. Use a financial advisor because it's a complicated process coming out of this pension plan. So come to a financial advisor. We coordinate the entire process. Okay. Other things that I'd like you to consider and that I discuss with my clients, Canada Pension Plan. As you may know, you can take it early or you can take it late. Well, there are many factors to determine when's the optimal time for you so that you manage your tax bracket. The same is true of old age security that can be taken at 65 or delayed. I always encourage people in your position to get a line of credit right now, or clean up your line of credit right now, because this process can take more weeks than you think it is. Beyond that, consider life insurance. You know, if something happens to you, is life insurance a good vehicle to make sure that your spouse is fine and or your kids are fine? So please call the number on the screen. It's a toll-free number. You'll reach my assistant Kennedy, who will make an appointment to discuss your situation over the phone and help you determine what's best for you and your family. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and if you have any more questions or concerns, please call us anytime. Thank you.